Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and James Gunn's Superman released new trailer footage in a recent promo that's actually telling us a lot about this movie. So we gotta break it down for some really cool details and explain all the new stuff that James Gunn has been sharing about his general DC Studios plan. We're covering it all in this video. Also, apparently we're expecting to see a crypto-themed Superman promo on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. And on that day, you have to join New Rockstars here on YouTube for our trailer watch party. Starting 1 hour before kickoff, we're going to be live streaming through the game to react to all the big trailers, all the big moments, answering your questions, probably eating too much dip. So please join us and we'll see you on the stream. Okay, let's play this new promo called Icon. The first thing we gotta say about this promo is that it does not use the electric guitar version of John Williams' Superman March from this movie's composer John Murphy, but the vocal arrangement that we heard in the December 18th 30-second teaser trailer tomorrow spot that preceded the main teaser trailer release. And before that, James Gunn had posted a 56-second animated poster with a fuller version of this audio underneath it. And one crazy hot take about this music that I have to share with you. I've been seeing a lot of you asking me about this online. I did not come up with this theory, but a lot of people are thinking that this could be the voice of Lara Lorvan, Kal-El's biological mother from Krypton, singing this melody as a lullaby as she places baby Kal-El in the Kryptonian escape pod. That is a heartbreaking and beautiful sentiment. But James Gunn has said in a number of interviews and podcasts that he feels like we've all seen the origins of DC characters like Superman and Batman enough and doesn't intend to focus on them again in the films that he directs or produces. But if this theory is true, it could be something that Kal-El in this movie witnesses through some kind of flashback mechanism or a recording in the memory database in the Fortress of Solitude, which could make Kelex's death even more heartbreaking. So, like in the shot of Superman bruised and bleeding out in the snow, where we spotted a tear in his eye, this could be right after he finds Kelex destroyed in the Fortress of Solitude, and with Kelex, all the recorded memories of his biological mother. Add that to the speculation from the shot of Jonathan Kent sobbing on the Kent farm in the trailer that Clark's adopted mother, Martha, could also die in this movie, and we might see Superman losing two mothers. And that could be what leads to Superman's trembling whistle for Krypto. The note he even whistles could be an extension of that song that his mother left in his heart. Even the whistle sound effect kind of sounds like a 3-note riff, like part of John Williams' melody. Like 3 notes, like do 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 do. I swear, I'm not trying to just fan fiction up the saddest version of this movie, but I am trying to read into the sentimentality that James Gunn has been crafting into a lot of his stories as of late, specifically with regards to the roles pets and animals play in our lives. Ferocious beasts to some, but to us, ways for us to fill our hearts as we try to move on from the loved ones we've lost. There's also this new shot of Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor landing an Osprey or some other kind of aircraft in the ice and deboarding the craft while Ultraman follows him. This likely leads to the shot of Lex, Ultraman, and the Engineer entering the Fortress of Solitude that we saw in the theatrical version of the trailer. But in the lens of Lex's eyewear, there is another figure walking in front of him. I thought this might be the Engineer, but I see a white coat and maybe a scarf, maybe some blonde hair. I think this might actually be Eve Teskmacher. Miss Teskmacher!
Miss Teskmacher!
Eve Teskmacher is Lex Luthor's assistant, played in this movie by Sarah Sampaio, and you actually see her only briefly in the trailer, appearing on an interview talk show on the TV screens in the Daily Planet newsroom. Now, in past videos, we pointed out that in the shot of Superman with Kelex, you can see a figure reflected in Kelex's chrome head. Some thought it might actually be Kara Zor-El, Millie Alcock, Supergirl, but now knowing that Eve Teskmacher could be with Lex and the others in this scene, I think it's a better chance that it's her. I feel like every time I go to the doctor, they recommend another supplement for me to take. Glue glucosamine congruent something for my joints, calcium for my bones, vitamin D for my skin. It sounds good on paper, but I used to put it off because of how much supplements cost. Until I found Live Good. Live Good believes that everyone deserves access to high-quality supplements without the insane markups. They offer premium products formulated by an industry-leading team of natural health experts, cut out the middleman so you can get them at the lowest prices possible. Live Good also has organic super greens, multivitamins, collagen, weight loss products, protein powder, and more. Every product you get from Live Good is super high quality and affordable. So I just mixed up a glass of Live Good's Hydration Amplifier Electrolyte Drink Mix, and let's give it a shot. Oh, you know what? That's very good. It's got like, I could just be sipping this all day, and I'm already feeling a bit more hydrated. Nice. In the office, we've been loving the Bioactive Complete Multivitamin and the Hydration Amplifier Electrolyte Drink Mix. Their whey protein also tastes so good. I recommend chocolate. That's probably why Live Good is the fastest growing supplement brand on the planet with over 1.5 million customers and counting. Go to livegood.com/newrockstars for 10% off your first order and take the first step to getting healthy with the best products at the best prices. The final news shot shows Superman as he flies through the rocky ice toward, I assume, the Fortress of Solitude. We saw the back of his cape in the shot in the teaser trailer Tomorrow spot, but now we see more of his barrel roll through the crevice and a close-up of his face as he flies. There has been, to no one's surprise, quite a bit of discourse around this shot. I really just like it just for the motion of Superman's barrel roll and the way the camera stays locked in position, because I think it's a great example of what James Gunn has talked about in the past, taking inspiration from Top Gun Maverick for the aerial cinematography for this film. Like the speed with which Superman rolls and then just levels out suddenly feels like we are in the cockpit of a fighter jet with a pilot. Now, I guess you could gripe about the fact that Superman is flying with his hands at his side instead of his fists raised in front of him, the way Christopher Reeve's Superman flew, or you could gripe about there being something weird about David Cornsweet's eye on the right, but I also think it makes sense for some of that icy wind to be physiologically affecting him. Whatever, I don't really care either way. I just think it's kind of silly to look for reasons to hate a shot or a still frame that's been shared on social media. Does this kind of look like Adam Warlock flying through the neighborhood in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Kinda. But there is a whole context to Superman flying in the scene that we don't yet know. And in shots of someone flying, using real-world references like fighter jet flight footage to emphasize the aerial speed is still, I think, a pretty cool idea. Actually, when asked on Threads about possible CG in Cornsweet's face in this shot, James Gunn responded, quote, "There is absolutely zero CG in his face. People's faces can look different when you put a wide-angle lens up close. The background plate in Svalbard is 100% real, as is David." For reference, Svalbard is the region of Norway, an archipelago between mainland Norway and the North Pole, where they shot the exteriors of the scene. And Gunn is right about the weird distortions that can sometimes happen in people's faces with wide-angle lenses up close. Just watch any episode of Severance. Even in shots that don't include the elevator Zolly focal length shift, shots where characters are just like sitting in the office talking or looking at a screen, their face can just sometimes look a little distorted. That's the point of the shot. I think the takeaway from this is we are all of us, staring at faces for too long on a variety of devices, and it's never been easier to see the artificiality and the technology used to capture these faces. And when you go into this staring contest looking for reasons to hate that face, you're gonna find plenty of evidence to hate it. But when you go into that staring contest looking for reasons to appreciate this experience, you can also find that evidence too. But either way, whatever you find is a reflection of what's in your own heart. So just remember that as you are writing your snarky reply. And other DC Studios news, James Gunn confirmed in recent days that production on Supergirl has begun ahead of its release on June 26, 2026, with this image of Kara Zor-El, Supergirl actress Millie Alcock, sitting in a set chair on a set that looks like a bar. Now, yes, we are expecting to see Alcock show up in the Superman film this summer, but this moment in the bar almost looks like the bar from this moment in Tom King's 2021 Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which James Gunn confirmed that this movie, directed by Craig Gillespie, is going to be based on. King's storyline is seen as like a cosmic True Grit type story with some really interesting narrative devices, and Gillespie, as the filmmaker behind I, Tonya, really seems like a perfect fit for this project. It was recently reported that in this Supergirl film, David Krumholtz will play Zor-El, Kara's father, and the younger brother to Jor-El, Kal-El's father, and Emily Beecham will be playing Supergirl's mother, Allura, and Zay. Supergirl will be one of many 2026 DCU titles. In May 2026, DC Studios has reserved a release date on a Memorial Day weekend that might be going to a Sergeant Rock film from director Luca Guadagnino, starring Daniel Craig as the commander of Easy Company during World War II, the animated version of this character we met in the G.I. Robot flashback in Creature Commandos. And then on September 11, 2026, will be the release voice of Mike Flanagan's Clayface. Alan Tudyk voiced the character in Creature Commandos and also voiced Clayface on the Harley Quinn series. James Gunn has clarified on Blue Sky that the Clayface we saw in Creature Commandos did survive those events. He's just quite mushy now. And throughout summer 2026, we are expecting to see the Lanterns series starring Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. And we just learned in recent days, Ulrich Thompson will be playing Sinestro on this series. That's going to be a lot to keep up with. And one of the things that we are going to try to do better in 2025 is keep up with DC Studios news as much as we do other franchises on this channel. While we are not going to scale back anything we do with our Marvel or our Star Wars coverage, it's just nice now to have a studio head who's actually transparent and responsive like James Gunn is when it comes to his plans and his process. And there's a lot of news coming out that we just want to stay on top of. Comment down below with all your thoughts on this. You can follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all of our channels in the New Rockstars Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.